Perched on Providence's College Hill stands a mansion that has witnessed over 2 centuries of history. The Nightingale-Brown house is often cited as the largest surviving wood frame house in America from the 1700s. Hi everyone, Ken here. Hit that subscribe button and let's explore this house. In 1769, Nicholas Brown Jr. was born into a family synonymous with Rhode Island's commerce and civic life. He was the only surviving son of Nicholas Brown Sr., one of Providence's famed four brothers who built a mercantile empire in the colonial era. From a young age, Nicholas was groomed for success. He entered Rhode Island College at age 13, graduating in 1786. Immediately after graduation, he dove into the family business. By 1791, at just 22 years old, he inherited his father's thriving mercantile firm, becoming its head and sole proprietor. That same year, he partnered with his brother-in-law, Thomas Poynton Ives, to form the firm Brown & Ives, which would remain one of Providence's leading business enterprises through the 19th century. Brown & Ives made its fortune in an era of booming global trade. Nicholas became an active participant in the American China trade, sending ships across the world to import tea, silk, porcelain, and other luxuries from Asia. Nicholas proved adept at expanding and diversifying his wealth. Beyond maritime commerce, he invested in development of railroads and local industries. By the early 1800s, he had firmly established himself among the wealthiest and most influential figures in Rhode Island. In 1804, after years of generous support, he donated $5,000 to the struggling Rhode Island College, a huge sum at the time, prompting the trustees to rename it Brown University in his honor. Over his lifetime, he would give over $150,000 to the university, funding buildings, libraries, and professorships. In 1814, flushed with success, Nicholas purchased a magnificent residence on Benefit Street, a house that perfectly symbolized the grandeur of Providence's golden age. The mansion had been built in 1791 for Colonel Joseph Nightingale, a wealthy shipping merchant, and it stood as one of the finest houses in the city. Designed by builder-architect Caleb Ormsby, the Nightingale-Brown house is a 3-story Georgian-style mansion of monumental scale. In fact, it is considered the largest wood-frame 18th-century house surviving in America. Clad in warm ochre-colored clapboard and trimmed with ivory-white detailing, the house exudes an elegant symmetry and classical balance emblematic of the Georgian era. Inside, the Nightingale-Brown house followed a classic late colonial layout. A broad central hallway runs through the middle, with rooms arranged on either side. The hall contains the main staircase and was designed to impress visitors upon entry. Notably, the front hall is decorated with an expansive scenic wallpaper panorama that was added in the 19th century, depicting sprawling landscapes. Off the hallway on the first floor are a series of formal rooms, each with its own character and purpose. The front parlor was the social hub for receiving guests and was outfitted in high style. This room boasts an elaborate upper mantel, carved in wood with a dramatic broken scroll pediment crowning it. The same broken pediment motif is repeated above the parlor's doorway, creating a grand, coordinated look. The parlor's architectural woodwork blends two stylistic eras. The carved moldings show lingering Georgian Rococo flair with flowing, curved details, while sections of applied gesso ornament reflect the later neoclassical style. This suggests the parlor was updated by the Brown family after they acquired the house, refreshing its decor to keep up with early 19th century taste. On the opposite side of the hall from the parlor is the formal dining room, where the Brown family would host lavish dinners. This space features a unique historical embellishment, antique English pine paneling installed on its walls. In the 1920s, a descendant, John Nicholas Brown II, added oak paneling salvaged from a circa 1730 manor house in England, known as the Old Chantry House. One significant part of the house is actually an addition built onto the original structure. In the early 1860s, Nicholas' son had amassed one of the world's greatest collections of books on the Americas, known as his Americana Library. To house his treasures, he commissioned renowned architect Richard Upjohn to design a dedicated library wing. The library became the seat of the famous John Carter Brown Library, now a separate institution at Brown University, but it began right here at the family home. The presence of the library wing also gave the house a touch of Italianate-style influence. Upjohn incorporated round arched windows and other Victorian design elements, blending old and new. Overall, the Nightingale-Brown house is an architectural palimpsest, a house that evolved through generations, blending Georgian colonial origins with Victorian additions and 20th century restorations, yet it retains a remarkable sense of harmony. By the time one walks through its halls and rooms, they experience a timeline of style from the carved wood and plaster ornament of the 1790s through mid 1800s innovations like the library to early 1900s colonial revival touches. After Nicholas Brown Jr.'s passing in 1841, the Nightingale-Brown house remained firmly in the Brown family's hands, becoming the ancestral home of 5 generations of the family. Each generation left its mark on the property, either by expanding it, modernizing it, or carefully preserving it. Then, the Brown heirs decided to donate the Nightingale-Brown house to Brown University, ensuring that this piece of family and city history would be preserved for public benefit. Brown University accepted the property and repurposed it as the home of the John Nicholas Brown Center for Public Humanities and Cultural Heritage, an institute dedicated to history, preservation, and cultural studies. Starting in 1987, a massive restoration project began. Preservation architects and engineers reinforced the original post and beam frame with steel supports where necessary. The goal was to stabilize the house without altering its historic appearance. One extraordinary measure helped finance this extensive restoration. The university sold a famous antique desk and bookcase from the house, a 1760s Chippendale masterpiece by Newport cabinet makers Townsend and Goddard for a record $12.1 million in 1989, the modern equivalent of nearly $32 million. At the time, it was the highest price ever paid at auction for an American decorative art object. The proceeds from the single sale were used to endow the maintenance of the house and fund the renovations. After 7 years of careful work, the Nightingale-Brown house was reopened in 1993, renewed and ready for its second life as a center of learning and public outreach. Today, the Nightingale-Brown house remains part of Brown University, hosting seminars, lectures, and scholars studying public humanities. And with that, I'll turn it over to you. Which room was your favorite? Let me know down below in the comments section. My goal for this year is to reach 1 million subscribers, so if you are among the 1 to 2 million monthly viewers of this channel who are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button and let's reach this goal together. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time on This House.